It is time to continue the prospect pool overviews with the Edmonton Oilers this time around. The Oilers are a very interesting case because even though they're a team that made the Stanley Cup final, they actually have two or three prospects that actually aren't too bad, comparatively speaking. You look at some of the other prospect pools that we've looked at already, like Dallas and Colorado. When we look at Florida tomorrow, they have very, very weak prospect pools, but the Edmonton Oilers one isn't too bad. Let's hop into the first player, and it's somebody who they acquired via trade, and that is Isaac Howard. And my screen's a little messed up. Isaac Howard of the Tampa Bay Lightning. He was drafted by Tampa, 31st overall, and he was traded to the Oilers this past offseason. He played his second season with Michigan State University, his third in college, had 37 games played, 26 goals, 26 assists for 52 points. He's a Hobey Baker winner. He has very improved skating. His skating has drastically improved since he has gone through the ranks here in college. Has put up some very good numbers in everywhere he's gone, essentially. I know it's been a little bit since he's been drafted, and I think he's had some disagreements with Tampa Bay for what he really wants to do, and Tampa just couldn't give him what he wants. The Oilers will be able to give him what he wants, which is an ELC with the team. But Howard, for me, I like him, but I'm not 100% sure if he's going to be somebody who necessarily has a huge impact in the NHL. Like, yes, he had a very good year with Michigan State University. He won a Hobey Baker. He had a very good World Juniors back in 2024. But my counteroffer to that is that he is a senior in college compared to like a freshman. And I feel like when you win a Hobey Baker, it's more impressive when you're a freshman as opposed to being a senior. But I do think that Howard has some upside there to produce some top 6 minutes there in the NHL. So we'll see how he does, but he will be in the NHL next season, so he will not be on this list. Matthew Savoie played games with the Oilers this past year, but spent most of this year in the American Hockey League. He was born in St. Albert, Canada, 5'9", 179 pounds. He was drafted 9th overall by the Sabres, also in 2022. He was traded over to the Oilers last offseason. This past year, in his first year with Bakersfield, played 66 games, had 19 goals for 54 points, put up some very solid numbers with the Condors, and he's very versatile, and he's got a lot of skill. And I think this kid, not even really like a kid anymore, he's starting to become an adult, 21 years old. I think he has plenty of potential to do some real damage in the NHL. It's just a matter of, are the Oilers going to give him time? You know, the Oilers have such a deep roster in terms of just like overall offensive depth. It's not like their blue line where it'd be easier to get a role, in my opinion. I think Savoie needs to work for it. He's going to get more of an opportunity this year for sure. I think maybe him and Howard might make the team out of camp if all things go right. But overall, Savoie, everywhere he's gone, he's put up solid numbers. So I really can't hate anything from that whatsoever. Again, you look at just the last couple of years, putting up solid numbers in the AHL, good numbers in the WHL. He's been very good everywhere he's gone. So there's plenty of upside there for for Savoie to make the NHL club out of camp, play a legitimate role. I don't know what that role is going to be. It could be maybe a third line role out of the gate. But honestly, Savoie has some real upside, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do with the Oilers. Up next, then, Tommy Lafreniere. No, he is not related to Alexis Lafreniere, but he is a third-round pick by the Oilers in this past year's draft. He was born in Saint-Sauveur, Quebec. I believe I'm saying that right. He was 6 foot, 174 pounds, was drafted again, 83rd overall in this past year's draft. He is primarily a center. He played 68 games with Kamloops this past year, had 24 goals for 56 points. What I've noticed is that he is a multi-positional player. So I know he's primarily a center, but he can also play right wing and left wing, etc. So he has that kind of just like overall benefit to him. And I think that those kind of players, they do not really get passed up upon a lot. I know he was a third round pick, but definitely going to take some more time to develop with Kamloops and just overall. He played his first year this past year with them at 56 points in 68 games played, which is not bad, but I do think that Lafreniere can get better as we keep going along here. So I do think that he is a prospect to keep your eye on for a couple of years here, because he is somebody who has that offensive flash and skill, and he could be an NHLer maybe a couple of years down the road, just not necessarily yet. Moving on then, Bo Akey, who has been with the Oilers for a little bit now. He just finished up his 4th year in the OHL, playing with the Barrie Colts. He was a second-round pick in 2023. He's from Waterloo, Ontario, 6 foot, 183 pounds. He is a right-shot defenseman. This past year, again, 52 games played, 32 points, 6 goals. Not too bad offensive numbers there for a defenseman. He is a smooth skater, from what I can tell. Has very smooth skating, good offensive skill. He is going to the Condors next season, so he will no longer be in the OHL. He is going over to the AHL to play. He did play in the World Juniors this past year, had 5 games played, 0 points. So again, Akey has that World Junior experience. He's been in the OHL for a couple of years now. I am intrigued to see where he's going to go here now. I know he's going to Bakersfield. I think this guy does have NHL upside, though. We've seen him play in training camp. We've seen him play some games. I think that there is some NHL upside there. It's just a matter of how much is it. So we'll see what Akey can do. He's got plenty of time still to develop. He's only 20 years old, but the excitement is definitely there. Asher Barnett is next up here. He was a 5th-round pick in the 2025 draft. He was born in Wilmette, Illinois. He's 6 foot, 201 pounds, was drafted 131st overall in 2025. He played 58 games with the U.S. National Development Program, had 8 goals for 22 points. Not terrible statistics there whatsoever. Definitely had some solid stats. He's got some good tools to his toolbox. Like, he's got kind of a little bit of everything, but he's missing that special, like, element that makes him an extremely talented player. Like, he's missing that for NHL 25 terms. Like, he's missing that X factor in his play. He is off the University of Michigan, so he will be going and playing with UMich. So that's going to be interesting to see. He is a left shot defenseman, by the way. I think there is some potential there, but he needs to find something that's really special in his game or really pop off over there. Otherwise, I'm not too sure if he makes the NHL. He just doesn't have anything that's like over the top and is like a huge underlying factor for why this kid is important. He's kind of average with mostly everything. Not to say that he's a bad player, but we'll see what happens there with Barnett. I'm intrigued. I've been following him for a little bit now. We'll see how he can do with you, Mitch, but overall, definitely going to need to work on his game a little bit. What's funny is that when you look at Emil Vinny's hockey DB profile, it looks like he literally played 3 games this past year. He played more than 3 games, but not a whole lot more. He was born in Vantaa, Finland. He's 6 foot 387 pounds. He was drafted 64th overall in 2024. This past year with HIFK U20. He had a 4-3 record with a 2.02 and a .910. He will play in the Liga next year. That is what I can confirm. It felt like he was kind of like a backup on this team that he was on, so definitely that's interesting. But from what I can tell, with the numbers he put up, he's not that bad of a goaltender. So I think that he is their number 1 ranked goaltending prospect right now. They don't have a ton of them in the pool, so that's obviously something you got to think about as well. But we'll see what Vinny can do. But overall, I don't really have a lot of information on him because he hasn't even really played that much. But overall, he has the NHL type of height, maybe a little bit shorter than some other goaltenders, but even still, I don't know. You got to wait a couple years down the road before we can really determine this, but Vinny seems like a solid prospect and a good kid as well. Looking at some of the other prospects in the pool, Maxim Berezkin spent this past year with Locomotive. He was drafted in 2020. He had 42 points in 66 games played. He won the KHL championship with Locomotive. He could be in the NHL soon, but he was drafted like 5 years ago, so I guess we shall see, obviously. You have David Lewandowski, who was drafted this past year, spent his first year in the WHL with the Saskatoon Blades. He's German, ironically enough. 39 points in 52 games played as a left wing. Matvey Petrov finished up his second year in North America, or I guess his 4th year in North America, 2nd year in the pros, had 16 points in 50 games played with Bakersfield. Daniel Salonen, who is a goaltender as well, had a 4-3-1 record with Hockey in the Liga League, so interesting there. And then Aiden Park was selected at the very end of the draft this past year. Just finished up his third season with the Green Bay Gamblers, 66 points in 55 games played. He was the second to last draft pick in this past year's draft. And last but not least, we conclude with my prospect rankings. You start off with Isaac Howard there at number 1. Savoy is the clear number 2. You got Bo Akey at number 3. Lafreniere at 4. Bereskin at 5. Ledwodowski at 6. I know his name's spelled wrong. I apologize. Vinny is at 7. Barnett 8. Petrov is at 9. And then Zolonin is at 10. Overall, outside of the top 3, it is a very weak prospect pool, and that should not surprise anybody whatsoever. This is a team that was in the Stanley Cup Finals this past year. When we get into the next team, it'll be even worse. So don't worry. I'm looking forward to that. But anyways, that'll do it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the prospect rankings and this pool in the comment section down below. But once again, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.